Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. And right now we're talking about the House Republicans releasing their initial impeachment inquiry report on President Biden, alleging an abuse of power and obstruction of justice in the financial dealings of his son, Hunter Biden, and family associates. And to talk more about this, I do want to bring in Russell Morgan, principal at Morgan Legal Group, to talk more about what we can expect and what this report actually says. Russell, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here. So I first want to let you know you are muted, and this is live, raw, and unfiltered. But if you could just unmute, that would be fantastic. So I want to ask you this. I want to start with this. The report, it is nearly 300 pages long. What does this report outline?
The report specifically outlines that essentially President Biden has used his family brand and his political power to interfere and intervene in Hunter Biden's involvement in Ukraine, his position, and that all of this was done while he was serving as Vice President of the United States. So at this point, it is at the inquiry stage, but there is a possibility that it will go forward with a formal impeachment.
So let's talk about next steps. What are the steps in this process?
The steps are it essentially has to pass majority vote in both the House and the Senate. So first, there would have to be a majority vote for impeachment on the House side, after which it would pass to the Senate, where the Senate would also need to have a majority vote confirming that impeachment is warranted. And if it doesn't get through the first step, it does not make it to the Senate.
Okay. Now, in this nearly 300-page report, there was some evidence that Republicans outlined regarding the Biden family using political sway in business ventures. Can you share with us more specifically on what that evidence is?
Essentially, what they were claiming is that during Biden's vice presidency, he was withholding potential support for certain nations because the United States was looking into Hunter Biden's involvement with Ukraine. So he was essentially threatening not providing necessary support and otherwise approved earmarks for other nations in an attempt to prevent further investigation into Hunter's involvement.
When it comes to an actual impeachment, how likely is it that President Biden would even get to that point?
At this point, considering that, first of all, we're in a deadlock bipartisan situation. Second, the House and the Senate, for the most part, are Democratic controlled. So it's very unlikely that it's going to pass majority on either side. My opinion is that it may pass to the first level of impeachment, which is the possibility that they will open an impeachment trial, but it's very unlikely that he will actually get impeached at the second step.
So is this more symbolic for the House Republicans to get to this point if it is unlikely that President Biden actually gets to the stage where he might even be impeached?
Absolutely. We are dead in the middle of election season. So this is the perfect time for Republicans to come forward to essentially create some issues with the Democratic political power. And this is going to, regardless of whether President Biden actually get impeached, it will create a tremendous detriment to the Democratic National Convention and to their future candidates, primarily being Kamala Harris, for our future election.
All right, Russell, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here on Live Now from Fox. We appreciate it.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we are going to step away for another 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox. We'll be right back.